Ladies, have you ever caught yourself saying something and then regretted it later? Words have power, and they can shape how others see you and, more importantly, how you see yourself. Today, I want to share 12 words you should stop saying if you're an older woman over 70. Trust me, cutting these out can change your life. Stick around because the last word on this list is one you've probably been saying every day without realizing its impact. 1. Just. Let's talk about one of the most subtle yet destructive words in our vocabulary, just. It's sneaky because it seems harmless at first glance, but oh, how it can undermine us. Have you ever caught yourself saying things like, "I just wanted to check in, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to help"? When we use the word just, it often sounds as though we're apologizing for our own existence. It turns a strong statement into something timid and hesitant. For example, if you're offering advice and say, "I just think maybe you should," it sounds like you don't fully believe in your own wisdom. But here's the truth: your wisdom, your voice, and your experiences matter. You've lived through wars, revolutions, economic booms, and cultural shifts. You've raised families, built careers, and weathered storms. You have earned the right to speak with conviction. So what can you say instead? Simply drop the word just. Instead of "I just wanted to check in," say, "I wanted to check in." It's assertive without being pushy. Instead of "I'm just saying," try, "This is what I believe." It might feel bold at first, but over time, it will feel empowering. Every time you eliminate the word just, you reclaim a bit of your confidence and authority. Try it. You'll be amazed at how people start to listen more attentively when you speak with clarity and assurance. Old is a word we women over 70 hear and say all too often, old. Now, let's be clear, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging your age. In fact, we've earned every single year on this planet. But calling ourselves old can be limiting. Think about it. How often do you say things like, "I'm too old to try that," or "I'm just an old woman"? You know how it is when you're old. When you label yourself as old, you unconsciously reinforce the idea that age defines you. But let me tell you something, it doesn't. You are not just your age, you're a collection of experiences, stories, and achievements. Yes, your body may not move like it used to, and your memory may have its quirks, but your age is just one facet of your incredible identity. Here's a better way to frame it. Instead of calling yourself old, focus on being wise, experienced, or seasoned. For example, say, "I've lived through enough to know better," instead of, "I'm too old to care." Shift the narrative. Talk about the benefits of your years instead of the perceived drawbacks. Also, pay attention to how you talk about your health and abilities. Avoid phrases like, "Well, I'm old now, so I can't." Instead, reframe it by saying, "I'm adapting to new ways of doing things." Language matters. It doesn't just shape how others see us, it shapes how we see ourselves. Ladies, let's own our age without letting it define or limit us. Remember, you're not old, you're ageless. 3. Sorry. Let's get one thing straight. Apologizing when you're genuinely in the wrong is a mark of strength, not weakness. But if you're like most women, sorry has probably crept into your daily vocabulary in places where it doesn't belong. Here are some examples. "Sorry to bother you, but I'm sorry. Can I say something?" "Sorry, I don't know how to do that." Now, think about what's really happening when you say sorry unnecessarily. You're subtly apologizing for your needs, opinions, or even your existence. And after a lifetime of doing this, it becomes second nature. But here's the hard truth: over-apologizing diminishes your confidence and invites others to undervalue you. Instead of saying sorry when you don't need to, try flipping the script. Let's say you're running a few minutes late. Instead of saying, "Sorry I'm late," say, "Thank you for waiting." That small shift in language keeps the focus on gratitude instead of guilt. Or instead of saying, "Sorry to interrupt," say, "Excuse me, I have something to add." See the difference? You also don't need to apologize for not knowing something. Instead of "Sorry, I don't know," say, "That's interesting, I'd love to learn more." It turns the situation into a growth opportunity rather than a reason to feel bad. Overcoming the sorry habit isn't easy, it takes practice. But every time you catch yourself and reframe the moment, you're building confidence. You're also setting an example for the people around you, showing them the power of speaking unapologetically. 4. Can't. The word can't. How often do we say this without even realizing the weight it carries? I can't learn that new technology. I can't travel like I used to. I can't start something new at my age. The word can't shuts doors. It's a self-imposed limitation often uttered without even questioning whether it's really true. Now, let's be honest, there are things that might be physically challenging as we age, but can't often means we've already given up before we've even tried. Here's an example. Many women over 70 resist learning new technologies like smartphones, streaming services, or video calls. I can't figure out all that complicated stuff, they say. But imagine the joy of video chatting with grandkids, learning new skills online, or streaming a favorite movie. By saying can't, you're depriving yourself of opportunities for connection and growth. Instead of can't, try rephrasing with, "I'll give it a shot," or "I'll figure out how." Those tiny shifts open up possibility. Even if you need help along the way, you're far more likely to find solutions when you start from a mindset of curiosity instead of defeat. Replace "I can't" with, "This is new to me, but I'm willing to try. I haven't done that yet, but I'd like to learn. It might take time, but I'll find a way." Remember, every skill we possess today was once something we couldn't do. Life has taught us that persistence pays off. Why should that stop now? You're capable of so much more than you think. Believe it and you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. 5. Should. Should is a word laced with guilt and obligation. You might not even notice how often it pops into your daily thoughts and conversations. I should exercise more. I should visit my children more often. I should have saved more money when I was younger. When you use should, you're essentially scolding yourself for setting unattainable expectations. It's a recipe for feeling perpetually dissatisfied, as if you're constantly falling short. And let's face it, we women are experts at piling guilt on ourselves. It's a habit we often develop while balancing the roles of mother, partner, and career woman. But now, in this stage of life, it's time to let that guilt go. Here's the secret: replace should with "I choose to" or "I want to." This subtle change shifts the narrative from obligation to empowerment. For example, instead of saying, "I should exercise more," say, "I want to move my body because it feels good." Instead of, "I should visit my children," say, "I choose to visit my children because it brings me joy." See how freeing that feels? Also, let go of the should-haves from the past. I should have started saving earlier. I should have pursued a different career. These thoughts don't serve you now. Shift your focus to what you can do today to create the life you want. The past is done, but your future is still wide open. By eliminating should, you'll notice a weight lifting from your shoulders. Instead of pressuring yourself, you'll begin to feel motivated by possibility. You'll see your actions as choices, not burdens, and that's an incredibly powerful transformation. 6. Ugly. Let's talk about one of the harshest words we can use: ugly. Often, we women aren't just using it to describe things or situations, we're using it on ourselves. Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, my hair looks so ugly today, these wrinkles make me look ugly, or I hate how my body looks, it's just ugly? Now stop right there. Calling yourself ugly, even in passing, does far more harm than you realize. Your words feed into a belief system that tells you your worth is tied to your appearance. When you use the word ugly about yourself, you're not just criticizing what's on the outside, you're internalizing the idea that you're less valuable. Here's the reality: aging isn't ugly, it's proof of a life well lived. Every wrinkle tells a story, every silver strand of hair reflects wisdom and grace, the stretch marks, the laugh lines, and the scars, they are all badges of honor, symbols of a body and soul that have weathered the years with resilience. Instead of ugly, start using words like natural, authentic, or beautiful in its own way. Look in the mirror and find one thing to compliment about yourself every day. Maybe it's the twinkle in your eyes, the strength of your hands, or the kindness in your smile. By shifting your focus, you'll begin to see yourself in a whole new light. Let's also talk about how you describe others. As women, we're often our harshest critics, not just of ourselves but of those around us. Challenge yourself to replace negativity with kindness, whether it's directed at you or others. Your beauty isn't just skin deep, it radiates from the confidence and love you show the world. Remember, ladies, words are powerful. Choose ones that lift you up, not tear you down. Aging is a privilege, and you are as radiant as the wisdom you carry. 7. Lonely. Let's talk about the word lonely. It's an incredibly powerful word, and not in a good way. When we say, I feel so lonely, it's not just a description of our circumstances, it's a mindset. It plants a seed in your heart that grows into isolation and despair. Here's the thing, feeling lonely doesn't mean you're alone. It often comes from a sense of disconnection, a belief that no one understands you or values your presence. The danger of using the word lonely is that it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you say it, the more you believe it, and the more you pull away from the very connections that can ease that feeling. But you're not powerless against loneliness. Instead of labeling yourself as lonely, try reframing your situation. Say, I'm seeking connection, or I'm looking for new experiences. These small changes in language can open your mind to opportunities. Join a local club, sign up for a class, or volunteer at an organization that matters to you. Reach out to old friends or even younger generations. They may surprise you with their eagerness to learn from your wisdom. Loneliness is a feeling, not a permanent state. By shifting your perspective and taking action, you can transform it into moments of connection and enjoy. Most importantly, remember this: your presence is valuable. There are people out there who want to hear your stories, share your laughter, and be uplifted by your kindness. Replace lonely with words like hopeful or open and watch how your outlook in your world change. 8. Too, as in too old, too tired, or too late. This little word sneaks into our language and does a world of damage. Think about how often you say, I'm too old for that, I'm too tired to try, or it's too late for me to learn something new. The word too creates limits where there don't need to be any. It places an imaginary cap on your abilities and experiences. But here's the reality: as long as you're breathing, it's not too late to do anything. Your timeline is your own, and life doesn't stop being full of opportunities just because you've reached a certain age. When you feel tempted to say too, try to replace it with empowering phrases like, I might need more time or support, but I can do it, or this is new to me, but I'm open to trying. It's never too late to start something meaningful. For example, instead of saying, I'm too old to exercise, consider, my body is changing, so I'll find exercises that suit me. If you think it's too late to make friends, reframe it. I'll start looking for ways to connect with people who share my interests. Your abilities and opportunities aren't gone, they've just evolved. 2 is a word that limits, but with a mindset of curiosity and possibility, you can shatter those limits and experience life in ways you never imagined. Can't complain. Here's a common phrase we all say: I can't complain. On the surface, it seems polite. It tells the listener that you're not someone who whines or focuses on negativity. But think about it more deeply. This phrase can also shut down conversations and hide your true feelings. How often have you said, I can't complain, when in truth you were struggling? Maybe you didn't want to burden someone, or you didn't feel like your problems were big enough to share. But by saying, I can't complain, you minimize your experiences and deny others the chance to truly connect with and support you. Instead, practice being honest about your feelings. You don't have to overshare, but you also don't need to bottle things up. If someone asks how you're doing, try saying, I'm doing well, but I've been feeling a bit off lately, or, I'm managing, but this has been a challenging time for me. These responses invite understanding and connection without turning into complaints. Another thing to consider, sometimes we use I can't complain to cut off our own joy too. Maybe you feel hesitant to express happiness for fear of seeming boastful. Instead, let yourself say, I'm truly grateful for how things are right now. You deserve to celebrate the good things in your life, no matter how small. So let's retire the phrase, I can't complain, speak honestly, share authentically, and let yourself feel heard and connected. Life is full of ups and downs, and you're allowed to experience and express all of it. 10. I used to be. Here's a phrase many of us lean on as we reflect on days gone by. I used to be. It might sound harmless, but it often comes with a hint of regret or longing for what we perceive we've lost. Think about how this phrase sneaks into conversations. I used to be so fit. I used to be the life of the party. I used to have so much patience for these things. When you say I used to be, you unintentionally highlight the far gap between where you were and where you are now. It's like holding up a magnifying glass to a better version of yourself while ignoring the strengths, growth, and beauty of who you've become. But let me tell you something, life isn't about staying the same, it's about evolving. Who you are today has been shaped by those experiences, and that is worth celebrating. Instead of focusing on who you used to be, take pride in who you are. Replace I used to be fit with I'm staying active in ways that feel good to me now. Swap I used to have energy for everything with I'm investing my energy where it matters most. Instead of I used to be so patient, say, I've learned to prioritize myself more. The truth is every phase of life brings its own set of blessings and lessons. When you let go of what you used to be, you create space to embrace what you are now, a version of you that's rich with wisdom, resilience, and a life lived fully. Let's be honest, wouldn't you rather celebrate your journey than pine for a version of yourself that no longer fits? You've earned the right to stand tall in the here and now without comparisons to your past. 11. It's always been this way. Ah, the classic, it's always been this way. How many times have you found yourself saying this as a reason to keep things as they are? I've always handled my health this way, this is the way I've always solved problems, it's always been this way in our family. This phrase carries with it an undertone of resignation, as if you're stuck in a pattern that can't or shouldn't change. But here's the good news. Just because it's always been one way doesn't mean it has to stay that way. Life is full of opportunities to try something new, even after 70. By clinging to it's always been this way, you might be holding yourself back from fresh experiences, new friendships, and possibilities that could enrich your life. For example, if you've always managed challenges alone, consider allowing others to step in and help. People genuinely want to support you, give them the chance. If your approach to health has always been reactive, shift to a more proactive mindset. Perhaps it's time to explore yoga, nutrition classes, or even a new doctor's perspective. If family dynamics have always been strained, take a bold step and start a new conversation with a different tone. Sometimes that small spark can lead to remarkable change. By letting go of the phrase "it's always been this way," you give yourself permission to grow and adapt. Imagine the possibilities that open when you shift from a mindset of stuck to one of what's next. Whether it's picking up a new skill, building a connection, or rethinking an old routine, every step forward brings more joy, meaning, and fulfillment to your life. Remember, your greatest chapter doesn't have to lie in the past. It can start today with the decision to challenge the status quo and take on life with curiosity and courage. After all, you've got nothing to lose and so much to gain. 12. I'm fine. Here's one we all say without even thinking: I'm fine. How many times has someone asked how you're doing and you've reflexively responded, "I'm fine," even when you weren't? The phrase "I'm fine" often acts as a shield, a way to avoid deeper conversations or the vulnerability of sharing your true feelings. But here's the thing: saying "I'm fine" can isolate you. It robs the people who care about you of the chance to really support you, and it keeps you from acknowledging and working through your emotions. Let's be honest, sometimes life is not fine. Maybe you're dealing with grief, loneliness, or health struggles. Instead of brushing these feelings aside, practice opening up, even just a little. For instance, if someone asks how you are, try saying, "I'm doing okay, but I've had better days. I'm managing, but there's a lot on my mind," or "I'm getting by, but I could really use a listening ear." Being honest doesn't mean you're burdening anyone, it means you're letting people in, and often those moments of connection bring a relief that a simple "I'm fine" never could. At the same time, don't overuse "I'm fine" when things are going well. If you're feeling happy, share that too. Say, "I'm great, thank you," or "Today's been wonderful, and I'm feeling good." Positivity is just as contagious as negativity, so let your joy shine when it's there. Stop saying "I'm fine" by default. Instead, allow yourself to be authentic and open, because that's where real connection and understanding begin. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more tips to keep you living vibrantly at any age. Until next time, take care and stay radiant.